There's people in life who talk big but don't do anything at all. And then there's also people in life who talk small or don't even say anything at all, and then they don't take any action. And the commonality between the two is obviously not taking action. And taking conscious action towards your dreams will actually set you free. I say this because a lot of the times in life, especially for artists, they let the waves of life take the steering wheel, whether that be their jobs. Let's say you have a full-time job somewhere. Let's say your family's expectations, they take the steering wheel and they kind of dictate where you go in life. Maybe even your school, or maybe other friends that take the steering wheel in your life. And it takes a conscious effort to be like, am I going where I want to be going? And do I want what I really want? And am I going towards that? And so making that decision is the first step of taking action. And then the next step is pretty much committing to that decision. And I'm not gonna lie, it's been a thrill of a ride, but also the scariest ride of taking decisions. I'm here in the airport in Bali, heading to Lombok for the second time to meet up with a group of friends, but also a community that I'm doing a documentary for. And so I'm saying all of this about taking conscious action because a lot of my life I have just let this little dream of being a filmmaker sort of be in the back seat, be like really far behind, and just sort of being like, okay, yeah, one day it's gonna happen. It's gonna pop up someday. And that has been going on for about 5 years. 5 years. Ever since high school, I picked up a camera. My art teacher, my design teacher, handed me a camera and was like, go make a film. And I did it, and I fell in love with the process and exactly with the result of creating this piece of art. And I went on to study film in university, and then I dropped out of that because I just didn't like it anymore. But the funny thing about dreams is that they're always there, and somehow along the way, every experience cultivates and turns that into the dream, realizing like, hey, actually, I really love doing this, and I want to pick it up again. And so taking conscious action only really came about probably like 2 months ago, but I think it's been building up for the past few months. If you didn't know me, my name is Okeano. I am a Filipino-Australian based filmmaker and dancer and just dope swagapino creative. And yeah, I love creating meaningful art that helps people feel something greater than themselves. And so currently right now, I am obviously in the airport, and last week I was actually in Lombok, and what was going on was that I had discovered the power of believing in yourself. And that's why I'm making this series right now, is the process of becoming the version of me that I want to be, which is the highest potential of being a documentary filmmaker. And so a week has gone by, and I'm going to explain some of the progress that I've done as part of that, and that relates back to this sort of concept of taking conscious action. The work that I've done in the past week, last week I was just pretty much documenting this community I'm making a documentary for, and then I had to take a sudden trip to Bali to renew my visa, but also to attend Easter celebrations in Bali. There's a lot more Catholic churches here, so it's been sick being part of that. The work that I've done so far, I've actually made a big step in going into UGC content. UGC content, obviously, it's UGC. I've made a decision to do UGC to fund a lot of my travels at the moment. It's probably the most versatile way of being creative, because you can reach out to brands, you can get money, but you can also kind of go wherever you want. The brand or the main business is me, and I'm just creating content. And the reason why I'm doing all of this is because I made a crazy decision 2 months ago, or a month ago now, to be like, yo, I'm kind of dropping my bags. I'm leaving my hometown, Perth, to really pursue this thing called filmmaking. And I quickly found out, like, actually, right now, during the month, I'm spending more than I'm earning. And the documentary films are not making me money right now. So I was like, okay, what's a really creative way, but also really, financial way of making money? And UGC was the go-to. What's the timeline now? It's 6 minutes. I said I'd do this in 8 minutes. So taking UGC into account of really being conscious of taking action is that there's been a there's actually been a struggle with me doing UGC in the first place. I actually tried to start this about 4 months ago, and I didn't follow through because I have this fear or just like limiting belief that making UGC type of content, like it's very transactional, and I'm a very artistic type of guy. So I just don't want to do it because it's kind of not my vibe. But the thing is, it is a transsexual way of making videos, and it is to make money. But if you do it in a way where it is funding my lifestyle, I'm being pulled by that motivation. So I really want to do it now. That was sort of overcoming my, I guess, identity crisis of being a creator, is that I can create to make money. And yeah, one metric that I've done this week that's really helped is reaching out to people. I've reached out to UGC creators, UGC mentors, filmmakers, and I've also reached out to a few friends in Bali who are creating businesses of their own. And all of them have given me insane insight into the industry of content creation, UGC, also filmmaking, also how to start a freaking business. If I not have done that, I would have been stuck in my head overthinking everything. So that was really good to reach out to people. A lesson that I've learned is that one, taking conscious actions towards your dreams is going to set me free. But behind that, a lesson that I've learned is that I myself am the greatest investment I can make. I myself am the greatest investment I can make. Before I do any sort of business, even before I do any sort of film or any sort of creation in the world, if I don't believe in it and if I don't feel like I'm capable of doing it, one, because I have no confidence, maybe two, because I have self-doubt, maybe three, because I'm financially stuck, then I'm not going to do it. And so the greatest investment that I need to do is actually in myself, to be confident with myself and to really believe that what I'm doing is fulfilling and is of value to myself, for me. This has been a big lesson. Eckhart Tolle has been one of them. Jim Burns has been a really good inspiration of being like, what value do you bring to the world and what value do you bring to yourself? He often says that you should be working more on yourself than you do on your job. You see, maybe 6 months ago, I was working really hard on my job. I was at a part-time job. I was working really hard in that. But how come when it comes to I'm traveling now, I'm finding it really hard to make decisions because I didn't work on myself during that time. But it's all a process. So I'm learning and I'm growing. And the last point, what would 3 years Okeano 3 years from now, like the one who's achieved all the things, but is also, being the person who is not afraid, like my highest potential. What's some advice he would say to myself this week from all the work that he's done? Advice I'd say to myself is to understand my voice. What is my perspective of the world? what am I saying to myself, and what do I think about the world? What is my voice? Number two is to not be afraid to lead. Don't be afraid to be a leader. Don't be afraid to stand up tall and take steps into the unknown. What that means to me this week is really going all out in UGC and making a financial runway possible in the next 3 months. The metrics for that is making 3K USD a month. So I really want to get to that point. And there's metrics of that being like, okay, for UGC, I need to make six deals a month, each with a package of, let's say, $500. So those are the metrics. But even before that, it's being like, are you willing to do that and take the steps forward, or are you going to back up and never make that leap of faith? So that's the 3 years from now, Okeano would tell myself. And currently, I'm just about to board the plane in about 30 minutes back to Lombok. Really excited, but also really scared that I'm gonna make things work, and everything is working for me, and I got my back. I'm not gonna let myself fall. How'd I do? That was 13 minutes. Thanks, guys, for watching this episode. Keeping up with Okeano. Oh, love. Oh, love. See you guys.